Hello there, my dears. Sit down, grab a cup of tea, and let me tell you something Tom used to say. It's gonna rain anyway. He wasn't talking about the weather, though we've seen plenty of rainy days in our time. He was talking about life. You see, storms are inevitable. The car breaks down, the roof springs a leak, or an unexpected medical bill lands in your lap. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs when we least expect it. But here's the good news. With a little preparation, you can weather any storm. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the most important lessons Tom and I ever learned: the power of an emergency fund. It may not sound glamorous, but it's the key to financial peace of mind. And if you stick with me, I'll show you how to build one, use it wisely, and keep it growing. Chapter 1: Why an Emergency Fund Matters. Let me take you back to a time before Tom and I understood the importance of saving. It was our first year of marriage and we were living paycheck to paycheck. One day, the transmission in our old car gave out. We didn't have the money to fix it, so we had to put the repair on a credit card. The debt lingered for months, stressing us out every time the bill came. That experience taught us a hard lesson. It's not if emergencies will happen, but when. An emergency fund isn't just about money. It's about freedom from worry and the ability to handle life's surprises with grace. Here's why you need one. Peace of mind. Knowing you have a safety net reduces stress and helps you focus on your long-term goals. Avoid debt. Instead of relying on credit cards or loans, you can pay for emergencies outright. Stay on track. An emergency fund keeps life's hiccups from derailing your financial plans. Chapter 2: How much should you save? Now you might be wondering, Grandma Suzie, how much is enough for an emergency fund? Well, my dears, that depends on your situation. Tom and I started small. Our first goal was $500. Just enough to cover a minor car repair or an unexpected bill. Once we reached that, we aimed for 1 month of living expenses, then 3 months, and eventually 6 months. Here's a guideline to get you started. Begin with $500 to $1,000. This is your first milestone, and it's manageable for most people. Build 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once you've got the basics covered, aim higher. This gives you a cushion for bigger emergencies like job loss. Adjust for your needs. If you're self-employed or have a regular income, you might need more than 6 months' worth. Remember, it's not about saving everything overnight. It's about steady, consistent progress. Chapter 3: Starting from Scratch. Tom and I weren't born savers. In fact, we used to spend every penny we earned. But when we decided to build our emergency fund, we got creative. Here's how we started: cutting back. We skipped dinners out, canceled unnecessary subscriptions, and learned to cook at home. Finding extra income. Tom picked up some side jobs fixing fences, and I sold handmade quilts at the local market. Automating savings. We set up a separate account and automatically transferred a small amount from each paycheck. It wasn't always easy, but every little bit added up. I'll never forget the day we hit our first $1,000. It felt like a huge victory. Chapter 4: Protecting your fund. Now let me tell you something important. An emergency fund is for emergencies, not for temptations. One time we were tempted to dip into our savings for a fancy new couch. But Tom looked at me and said, "Susie, if we spend it now, what happens when it rains?" That stopped me in my tracks. To protect your fund, keep it separate. Open a dedicated savings account that's not linked to your daily spending. Define emergencies. Before you spend, ask yourself, is this truly urgent and necessary? Practice discipline. It's okay to say no to yourself. It's part of being financially responsible. Chapter 5 Storytime When the Rain Came. Let me share a story about the time our emergency fund saved us. It was a bitterly cold January, and our old furnace decided to give up. The repair bill was $1,200, a small fortune to us at the time. But thanks to our emergency fund, we didn't have to panic. Tom and I wrote the check, replaced the furnace, and kept our home warm. We didn't go into debt, and we didn't have to sacrifice other parts of our budget. That experience showed us the true value of being prepared. Chapter 6 Growing Your Safety Net. Once you've built an emergency fund, the next step is to keep it growing. Life changes, and so do your needs. Tom and I revisited our savings every year to make sure it was enough to cover any new responsibilities. Here's how to grow your fund. Reevaluate regularly. Check your budget and adjust your savings as needed. Add windfalls. Tax refunds, bonuses, or gifts are great opportunities to boost your fund. Stay consistent. Even small contributions add up over time. Remember, my dears, an emergency fund isn't a one-and-done project. It's a lifelong habit that brings security and peace. Chapter 7 Inspiring Others. One of my proudest moments was teaching our grandchildren about saving. We gave each of them a little piggy bank and told them about the importance of having a rainy day fund. Seeing their eyes light up with understanding was a joy. If you've built your own emergency fund, consider sharing what you've learned with others. Whether it's your children, friends, or coworkers, your story could inspire someone to take control of their finances. Chapter 8 The Bigger Picture. Tom used to say, "Susie, saving isn't just about money, it's about freedom." He was right. An emergency fund gives you the freedom to face challenges without fear, to make decisions based on values instead of desperation, and to focus on what truly matters. When you're prepared for life storms, you can spend more time enjoying its sunny days. Conclusion. Start today. My dears, it's gonna rain anyway. That's just a part of life. But with an emergency fund, you can face those storms with confidence and grace. Start small. Stay consistent. Celebrate your progress along the way. And remember, every step you take toward financial security is a step toward a brighter, happier future. With love, wisdom, and a little umbrella for life's rain. Grandma Suzie. Thank you, my dears, for spending this time with me. Remember, life's journey is better when we walk it together. If these stories and reflections warmed your heart, be sure to subscribe and join me for more wisdom, comfort, and a little sprinkle of joy. Together, let's keep growing one story at a time. Until next time, stay safe, stay hopeful, and remember, you're never alone. Grandma loves you.